All right, let's take a minute to talk about locational numerology, you guys, and what exactly that means. And I want to talk about two of the most prominent numeric energies in our daily life, at least here in California, and that's going to be 25 and 65, right? Very prominent speed limit signs. Right. So let's talk about 25 first. And I've done a video on 25 before, but it's important, okay? Because what 25 indicates is our relational energies, because of the number 2, are pulling in karmic energy because of the number 5, dealing with the oppositional realm because of the number 7. Okay, so what does that mean? In other words, what that means is that the way that the collective is relating to the world, relating to each other, is pulling in difficult energies. Okay, this could be something as simple as not being mindful and throwing away a cigarette into a garbage can. You're not intentionally necessarily going to light your whole house on fire, but that could be the result because of the way you're relating to the world and the deficiencies involved in said relation. 2 is also the number of the mindset. So it can also be something like the way you view the world and the way you view things is pulling in the same difficult energy. So an example of that would be the previous video I did on the importance of attachment styles, the importance of understanding narcissism and those different terms associated with said disorder. It's important because it helps you relate to the world in a more defined way. You have more reference points. You have greater understanding. You aren't as naive. You're able to have reference points. You're able to recognize patterns. You're able to have an increased level of discernment because you understand certain things. Okay, so that is a way to actually combat 25 energy, is by gaining additional awareness. Another example of this energy could be if you're in addiction, right? If you are currently addicted to some sort of substance, the way you're choosing to navigate to the world is always being loaded, high, drunk, whatever. You are not being fully aware. You're not fully present. You're probably making, I don't even know, huge mistakes, terrible decisions, right? All of these things are related to how you're relating to the world and how you're relating to others. And it's going to pull in oppositional energies. It's going to pull in darkness. That's another word I have for the realm of 7. Darkness, because it's all encompassing. It explains all of the difficulty. It explains all of the opposition and the disease and everything associated with it. It also explains the transformative power of 7, because you cannot see the light unless you're in the dark. You must illuminate to eliminate, which means you can only eliminate in the dark. And I say that because people get their panties in a bunch when I speak of 7 this way, because so many people think 7 is giddy and good luck and the lottery jackpot. No, honey. No. And I've had to make many videos on this topic, right? Think about the 7 wonders of the world and what occurred at those locations. Giddiness? I think not. Gladiator events, was that good luck? Yeah. All of the treacherous activities and bloodshed that occurred at all of these places is wild. And I don't understand how people can try to even argue with me, but I digress. I don't care. Because I share my perspective, and it's always based in heavy reasoning as it relates to patterns. I don't just make things up, okay? I test them continuously. So I'm confident in my stance. My phone was dying, so I moved inside. But anyway, you guys, when we're talking about this energy, this 25 energy, what we're saying is the way that the collective is relating to the world, the way the collective is relating to others is causing issues. In other words, we must do better. But it's also pulling in transformative power. So if properly navigated, if we pay attention to the right things, if we pay attention to our own wounding and we work to transform those wounds and so on and so forth, it has great power. And this power can only be found in this energy. This power can only be found in the realm of 7, okay? For the reasons I previously mentioned. Let's get into 65. Now, 65 is similar, you guys, and you have to think of something when we're talking about anything collective, and it might make it a little bit more difficult for people to understand. Because if something is in place, if something is commonplace, if something is standard, is normal, is the day-to-day for most people, a lot of people don't see anything wrong with it, but that is not the case. A lot of things we've become accustomed to are quite ridiculous in the eyes of the spirit, okay? For example, going to work every day. I talked about this in a video I did today. Just the concept, you either build for yourself or you build for someone else. And as the spirit craves, we would all be being ourselves at all times. We would all be building our own dreams, our own vision, because it's directly associated with who we are, which means we all have unique gifts, skills, and purposes that should be being manifested here. But when we're spending all day working for someone else, that does not happen. Now, the way this relates to 65 energy is because we have the diurnal number. The number of diurnal matters, day-to-day matters, work, home, right? Pulling in the karmic number. The total is 11, which is a 1 and a 1, which is a couple of meanings. The first of which is just one being interacting with another. Another is one being mirroring another, right? That's why this is also 1111 is the number of soulmate connections as well as twin flame connections, because even if you have never met a soulmate before, there are certain aspects of yourself and your life that are going to be duplicated in these other people. That's why when we talk about soulmates and twin flames, we're talking about recognizing yourself in another. We're talking about similarities, especially as that relates to soulmates, right? And this elaborates on what I just mentioned to you. Things become commonplace because everyone else is doing them. We're mirroring each other. This person decided to go do this every day, so this is what I'm going to do every day, because it's what's expected, because it's become a collective norm. Not because the spirit wants it, not because the spirit has requested it, and everyone that is different or chooses to navigate differently is given the side eye. These are the kinds of things we're talking about when we talk about 65 energy, and there is a broad spectrum of things we can be discussing. But we need to get back in touch with who we truly are, you guys, what our soul craves, what our spirit desires, and not just looking at everyone else and what everyone else is doing. Not just copying what someone else is doing, right? Making your own decisions. The horses are running loose. If you can hear them. I cannot wait to get my book out to you guys so you can tap into these same energies that I have, communicate with Source directly, and navigate your own life. Focus on the things you need to change. As far as it relates to 25 and 65 energies, we all have different lessons we need to learn. We all have different things that we need to hone as far as our psyche goes, our behaviors, right? Our tendencies, right? We're here to help the spirits ascend and the soul grow. And numerology. It's so good. And I can't wait to share my system with you guys. Let me get back to cooking. Have a good night.